A year ago, 35-year-old Mark Montano was out jogging when he felt his heart start to race abnormally. Doctors diagnosed him with atrial fibrillation, a type of irregular heartbeat. But thanks to a new minimally invasive procedure, Montano was back on his feet the next day.
I was diagnosed with Afib probably about a year ago. A lot of us are unaware of our normal heartbeats, I guess. We just kind of take it for granted that everything's working in the background. But with this, it was definitely weird, like a car sputtering, just not getting the gas, but in the sense that applies to your heart.
Atrial fibrillation is where the top chamber, instead of squeezing normally, quivers. The top chamber is actually beating at about 350 beats per minute. The top chamber is supposed to act as a booster pump to push blood from the top chamber into the bottom chamber. The bottom chamber is the main pumping chamber. With atrial fibrillation, you lose that booster pump effect. So it would be like if you took the carburetor off your car and tried to run your car. How well would it run?
I couldn't catch my breath. I guess I kind of, like I'd been running. I felt a pressure in the back of my neck, in my shoulder area, like somebody had just been pushing. For some reason, there seemed to be pressure there. And just a weakness. Sometimes I would feel like it was getting dark around here, like maybe I was going to pass out. And but I never did. But that's what it felt like.
There's several dangers with atrial fibrillation. The number one danger is the risk of stroke. It increases the risk of stroke by 5% per year. There are other factors that will increase the risk further. The other issue with atrial fibrillation is it gives you a rapid, irregular heartbeat. Some people say it feels like a fish flopping around in their chest. With minimal activity, your heart rate can zoom up and you can get short of breath. For people with a constantly fast heart rate, it can actually damage the bottom chamber of the heart.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. You guys want to let you come out your back a little bit.
What we do is we go up through the inferior vena cava, cross over to the right atrium, to the left atrium. And these lightning bolts are an artist's rendition of the irritable focuses that cause Afib. Up until now, what we would do is we'd spot weld all the way around the pulmonary veins to try to create a complete line of scar tissue. Now what the balloon does is puts a 360-degree circumferential ablation around the vein. We advance a wire into the vein, we inflate the balloon in the left atrium, and with the balloon inflated in the left atrium, we shove it into the vein to try to get complete occlusion of the vein. If we get complete occlusion, then there's no warm blood flowing past the edge of the balloon. And if there's no warm blood, then there's no heat sink. Here we have a small little leak, so we advance the balloon, we inject the contrast, make sure there's no leak, and then at that point, when there's no leak, we inject the refrigerant, which is liquid nitrous oxide, the same laughing gas the dentist uses. The dentist uses it in a vapor form. We actually inject it in a liquid form. It vaporizes. The boiling point is minus 90 degrees centigrade, so the balloon goes to minus 90 degrees centigrade. So it puts a 360-degree full-thickness circumferential ablation around the vein, and now you see these lightning bolts don't go out beyond the mouth of the vein. And that's how this procedure works. We're hoping to cure people with this. They'll see us for probably the first 6 months, but at that point they'll be off antiarrhythmics, they won't be having Afib, they'll be off blood thinners, and they'll have their life back.
Again, I've felt within the last 24 hours that everything's kind of leveled off. Initially, I felt like a horse kicked me in the chest. I've never had a horse kick me in the chest, but I mean that's probably the best way I could relate to it.
That's the balloon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But does that balloon explode or something?
I had the procedure done on a Monday morning. Tuesday morning I came home, and Wednesday I drove myself down to a meeting at the Franciscan Center.
I'm as convinced as Dr. Irwin is that she's cured.
I just know I'm going to be okay. I know I am okay, and that's a big peace of mind right there. That's a lot of peace right there.
People with hypertension are 5 times more likely to develop Afib. Also, the risk is increased if there's a family history of heart disease or diabetes.